Hey everybody. So you can see by the title, this is going to be a Dusty video. Kind of funny, kind of sad. So as you can see, it says when a Dusty refuses to leave. Yeah, you might have to call the police. So this building here, fair use, simplifies the relationship. It was already a little rocky, but hey, she was holding it up, with the Dusty the best she could. Things went kaboom. Change. So it went from standing erect to, of course, the guy engaging in Dusty behavior. Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom. The dust came through. Yep, the dust came through with flying colors. Now, at this point, and this is one of my non-melanated sisters, girl, he was dust from day one, and she knew it. But I thought she, like I said, sometimes girls like the bad boy. They may have the corporate job, but they want the bad boy. That's what she got. But she got the bad unemployed boy. So she moved him in, and things didn't quite turn out right. So he would bounce back from her house to his mama's house. And it has got to a point where the mother's like, hey, don't come back here. As I understand, he allegedly stole from the mother, or we'll just say some money came up missing. Yeah, Meemaw's money came up missing. So it's him there, his child there, and the Dusty. So she's like, the child, middle school kid, what have you, didn't take it. It's you. And, I think the same thing. So Meemaw's hot. He cannot come back here. She wants him out. Of course, Dusty knows to go back to his woman. So they live together. Things are every day in Dustville. So something happened. Oh, yeah. They had a major argument. And he said something so derogatory. I'm not going to repeat it. It is so vile about her body compared to another woman's body. So he got real personal and real ugly. He never should have been in there. He should have been gone that night. And women have children, so things change. So he said something so very horrible and vile to a woman that is simply the unforgivable. Comparing her to somebody else, unforgivable. So now it's time for the put out process. She is hot. He gotta go, blah, 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 blah. This happened over a weekend. Then they calm things down. Okay, he gets to stay. Then next thing you know, it escalated again. In true Dusty fashion, the house just disarray. She does have teenagers there, females as well. So things just get all out of hand to Dusty. And he wants to show riled up like he the man of the house, and you're not. So it kind of escalate just a French fry short of catching those hands kind of action. So at that point, she's like, yo, he got to get the hell up out of here. He got to go. So what she did, he's like, no, he's not going. He's not going. She's like, yeah, you got to go. Get up out of here. So she goes to the grocery store, and they all go together. And she's telling her, she's like, well, hey, you know what? She pretends to be okay for a moment to get him out the house. So she goes to the grocery store. They all in the car together. And so she tells the kids, look, when it's time to get back into the house, I'm going to stay in the car and talk with him, unload the car, and don't come back out. So what she's trying to pretend to do, hey, let the kids unload. We got the food here. Let the kids go ahead and unload the vehicle. Y'all go in the house and y'all stay. She's going to try to talk to him. And then at the last minute, try to get rid of him, get in the house, lock the door, boom, he's gone. Well, it didn't quite work out that way. Her son, it went for a little bit, and she was able to lock him out the house. And then he said some things down through the door. Her son got angry, opened up the door, boom, the guy was in the house. At this point, there's no other thing for her to do but to call the police to get him out. Okay? Now, only thing is, don't forget, in some states, when a person got mail coming there, they've been staying there. I'm hearing from 2 weeks to 30 days. I don't know. Check your state. But I'm telling you, sometimes, you're not putting nobody out. You got to go through the eviction process. Yeah, you got to go through the eviction process and you got to spend some money. Okay. And I'm going to do one more video today, ladies. Don't let fine and cool fool you. I have a, a horrible story to tell you. I'll get it out this morning about this eviction process. Okay. So, anyway, she calls the police and he's like, okay. Don't call the police. I'm gonna go ahead and leave in the morning. And my guess is, knowing him, he probably got some warrants out. Okay, probably got some warrants out. So she goes ahead and she calls. She's like, okay, in the morning. So the morning comes. This happened over the weekend, all this drama and the insults and the fussing and fighting. The morning comes, it's now Monday morning, so she has to drive in and go to work. She has to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning. So what he says to her is, hey, she's like, no, you got to go. You got to go now. He's like, okay. Let me go ahead and just get a ride with you, because she's driving to a different town. Let me get a ride with you in a different town. And I got some homeboys there. He's going to put me on, and I'm going to go ahead and stay with them, because keep in mind, there's nowhere for him to go. He stole from me. My shit don't want it there. So she drives in, and it's like maybe 30 miles. So it's a nice little ride, 35 miles or so, into town, into a different little city, or major city. And she goes to work. So she said, first she was like, oh, I need to get some gas. And she's like, I got the feeling he's not going to get out. He might try to stay in my car. So she's like, oh yeah, I need to get some gas. He's like, well, I'm real sleepy. I didn't sleep right. You had me on that floor. You could let me get on your sofa. And it was kind of stupid. So he's like, I didn't really sleep right. So he's like, you can pump your own gas. You put me out. Her idea, she was saying like, hey, she felt it's going to be an issue. So she just wanted to like get him into town and stop to get some gasoline. And so let's say as he went in to get the gas or pump the gas, then let's say she locked the door and then she going to drive off. Well, guess what? The Dusty was already thinking it wasn't going down like that. Not today. It wasn't going down like that. So she drives on to work, gets to the work. She's parking in the garage. Okay. And it's early. It's a little bit before 7 o'clock. So she's like, okay, well, you need to get out. Now, I remember her texting me one morning, and I said, girl, you need to go ahead and get some beers. I said, because she was letting me know what's going on. You need to go ahead and get some beers. And he likes to drink beer, so he's going to have to go to the bathroom. When he goes to the bathroom, if y'all driving, to whatever, go ahead. When he goes to the bathroom, girl, just toss his bag out, honey. Time out the car, lock the door, toss the bag out, and keep it moving. So, obviously, she had some beer in the vehicle. Okay. So she's at work. She's not in the garage, and she's like, hey, you got to get out. He says, look, it's early. My friend does not get to his job till around 9 o'clock or 9:30. So no one's there. Let me just sleep in the car. Okay. And I promise you, around that time, I'm going to go ahead and leave, and I'll lock the car before I go. I'm done. I'm going to be out. Okay. No problem. She lets him stay there. So she's now at her desk. Here comes security. They find the security is just doing the walk in the parking garage. They see this man sleep up here in the back of her car, and it's a small vehicle. Sleep in the back of her vehicle, tap on the window. You can't be here. They then get the license plate, and they trace it back to her. Yo, somebody's sleeping in your vehicle. Okay. This man says he knows you. We can't have this. He cannot be sleeping in the vehicle. He has to go right now. So they get her. She goes down there. Oh, yes, I'll handle it. And by now, it's way past 9 or 9:30. Okay. It's way past that. And I was like, wow, it's a wonder, he was able to, stay that long. That's a surprise, because he couldn't get into the building. You can only go so far. He didn't have a card key. So, she then goes to the vehicle, and she's like, hey, you got to go now. Okay. You got to go now. What you think happened? He gets out of the vehicle. She's like, if you don't go now, that's why you can't work with a Dusty. Very rational. If you don't go now, I'm going to go ahead and call security. They're going to call the police. And you notice, for more than likely, he's known to have warrants out. By this time, you got more people, they kind of going in and out, people coming and going, doing things. He caused a scene. He started hollering and yelling and cussing. Security somebody gets scared or whatever. Security ends up back there again. Man, as she was trying to, I guess, get away, he's up in her face and she's trying to pull this stuff out. They tugging the wall. So now the security here, they're going to call the police. And so she's still trying to say that Dusty. What does he do? He gets his things. Don't forget that I said they had beer in the vehicle. And she said, as security came back, then to call the police, things have calmed down now. So, and as she's like so embarrassed, a few people are looking and you know where it's going to travel. And she said, as she's walking back, she was so humiliating. As he left, he had his bag and he's walking away. So at this time, he's out the vehicle, his crap's out the vehicle, and she's locked the car, okay, with a remote. And she said, as she walked away, there are other people that are still kind of looking, you know, he'd caused a scene. And she said, as she walked away, she was so humiliated. What did the dust bucket do? He gave her one last final cussing out. Knowing this is a place where she works. One last final cussing out. And then he started throwing the beer cans at the back of her body and at the back of her head. And she said, girl, the beer cans hurt. I couldn't believe it. She said, those beer cans hurt. She said he was throwing them at the back of my head in the parking garage. She said he threw one and the beer can went at a car. But the idea, she said, just think, a beer can at a force, like somebody throwing a freaking baseball at a force. He started throwing the beer cans at the back of her body. One hit her back and one hit her head, just throwing beer cans at her. And then he ran. What kind of man is that? And she said, a few people saw it. So can you imagine the embarrassment? Note to self, just when it gets bad like that, when you want them to leave, just dial 911, call the police. Just call them, get them out. So yeah, so that day at the job, word starts to travel. I heard, I already knew about it because she told me about it. Went to go look and it's like, yeah, they have to get the little beer cans up. So embarrassing. So ladies, you cannot work with a Dusty. You just cannot. She was so humiliated and she was, just imagine somebody throwing some beer cans at you in the back of your head. And she just, that could be assault. I don't know, but she just, came on back to work. Just so embarrassed and so much hurt. So I'm trying to tell you, these Dusties are cursed and they, besides embarrass you, they will hurt. Yeah, so she got that's the story of her Dusty trying to get rid of him. She should have got rid of him that weekend. So now she's brought this to her place of work. And people looking, ooh, did you hear about so-and-so? Did you hear about so-and-so? Did y'all hear about Rosario? You hear what happened? People looking at you. What if you're up for promotion? That's going to show a lack of good judgment on your part. If your personal life is not in order, guess what? Nowhere in hell someone's going to trust you with business. And that's just facts. Anyway, thanks for listening. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And I am out.